Hello. Hello, and welcome back to the Novice Lumberjack, where I'm about to break into this Echo 4910. Actually, it's already been broken into. I'm about to lay out my marks and all that jazz for port work. I likes me some port work. I love this little mount that I have made to hold the saw. It's absolutely fantastical. It's great. It's great and I love it. So this right here is going to be the next Raffle Saw. If you are interested, want to know how you can win this saw, check the link in the description of this video. And there will be a link to my Cash App. I will document the whole build. Let everybody know exactly what I'm doing. And we'll see if we can make another runner. You know? Goals with this one are going to be to keep up with or possibly beat the 550 XP that I just did, known as Darkness. Yeah, keep up with it or even possibly beat it. Why not aim to beat it? I'm going to try, do the best I can. Nope, that's a different size right there. I'm going to go ahead and break it all the way down because I'm going to be back and forth doing all kinds of work and measurements and things like that. So, yeah, getting it all broken down so that I can easily get to it. Actually, I could probably leave that on, but I don't think I want to, which means I'm going to have to take it right back off of this. Let's go ahead and get this done first. If you're wondering where I'm putting my screws, I just literally keep a small box that I will dedicate for the moment for all the parts to this build, you know? You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Vern? Do you guys remember Ernest P. Worrell? I grew up with that nutcase. You know what I mean, Vern? He would talk to the camera. And as a child, you were being called Vern. I grew up with a guy who did something, I don't know, sort of similar. It's not really similar, but I don't know, felt similar to me. One of my dad's friends, his name was Lovell. And he called everybody Bob. Everyone. I don't know, you talk like this. Hey, you know, I understand the crowd that I have that watches my channel, and you guys probably wouldn't watch this movie. However, there's a movie about two gay cowboys called Brokeback Mountain. That came out whenever I was actually in film school, and it was a big buzz. And it's not like I had an assignment or anything, but you know, it was talked about so much, and I was in film school, and I like Westerns, and I ain't got no problem with a queer. I don't care. I don't care whose lips you're kissing. You know, doesn't matter to me one bit. If you guys have a problem with it, well, whatever. You're only hurting yourself is my feeling. You're just causing yourself anxiety and shit like that. But anyways, the point is, the actor, the blonde guy, Heath Ledger. If you want to know how Lovell Bob sounded and acted, watch that movie with the two gay cowboys, Brokeback Mountain, and Heath Ledger's character. Yeah, I don't know about him. That was Lovell, and he would call everybody Bob. And he would say, my first name's Jason, right? And as a kid, my family was the only ones that really called me Bodie. Anyways, he would be like, hey, what you doing there, Jason Bob? You fixing to ride that motorcycle over the hill? Everybody was Bob. Don't know why he did that. Pretty weird, but how the heck did I get started talking about that? I don't know. It'll come back to me. Vern, that's how it came. I started talking about it. Yeah. Ernest P. Worrell called everybody. Damn it, what the hell? What are they thinking? Putting that on there so securely. All right. I gotta do it. Ooh, that was loose. There we go. Let's blow that out a little bit more. I like working on a clean saw. Okay, now let's get it back on this. I tried making one of these things fast before. I had a customer order one, and he's like, make it fast. I'm going to run a little short bar. I want it to turn high RPMs. It ran, honestly, about like every other one that I built. So I think I'll try something a little bit different this time. There we go. So if you guys are interested in winning this saw, one thing that I can definitely say about it is it has very low hours on it. My guess would be maximum, I mean maximum 20 tanks of fuel ran through it. But I think that's a stretch. I don't think it's got no 20 tanks ran through it. Do you know what I mean? I just don't. I don't think that's going anywhere. We're going to leave it right like that. I don't know. It'd be a shame if that popped out and caused me problems. Let's just do that for now right there. All right. So I talked with Charlie about what I thought was possibly a bit of an air leak around the base of this setup. Turns out he likes reusing that gasket, and so he coats the gasket in oil, right? And it allows him to reuse that lead gasket over and over again. So that's what's going on. Part of me wants to do that exact same thing, but now this gasket is, you know, I could probably reuse it, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to. I understand what he's got going on. I get it. I'm going to go a different route, and I'm going to use, I've really, you know, pretty much settled in. I've used about all of the gasket maker materials. Moto Seal, Durco, Hylamar, and what I find works the very best is this right here. 3-bond 1184. The reason I like this is because it's kind of in between. Let me see, dig it out. It's in between Durco and Hylamar. That's kind of the way it goes. All right. This stuff never dries. All right. It'll get tacky for you, but it really never dries. It just doesn't. All right. Which is a good thing. It's a very good thing, you know. But what I think the problems that I'm facing with this blue Hylamar blue, all right, is my lathe is from like 1946 and it ain't perfect, okay? I'm not kidding myself or anybody else. And your first thought, if you don't know, if you've never done all this stuff, is probably, well, you can't do that. You can't have a off square cut, right? Probably 90% of them are. All right, I was talking with Charlie about this kind of stuff just yesterday, and it's like the idea that all of us guys are using methods that are perfect is completely ignorant. You know, it's not foolish. You think if you got a lathe, you're going to be able to be perfect. No, you got to take that jug off, measure, put it back on, cut some more, measure, back and forth, back and forth. Very few people have a nice enough setup to where they can just throw that jug on, dial in a 40 thousandths cut it, and they're perfect. All right, it just doesn't work that way. So, but like Dino Joe, he loves that. He loves using that. And my suspicion, the reason why he has such good luck with this is because whenever he does cut a cylinder base, right, and he uses this stuff, his cylinder base is perfect. But he can do that because he's got a $1,000 big 12-foot lathe or something like that. I don't know what he's got, but his shit's way better than mine, you know. Whereas mine, it's going to be a little bit off, right? And so Durco has always worked really well for me. It's really great. If I put this on, it don't leak, period. However, it's a pain in the ass to work with. It's super tacky right out of the bottle. And like if I was to put it on, bloop, 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 I have to then go back and spread it, right? Whereas this stuff is thin enough, 3-bond, 1184. It's thin enough to where I put it on and I can just wait a little bit and it'll settle. Now, I do still spread it out, but the amount of spreading that I have to do is a lot less with this stuff than with this. And it cleans up easier and it semi-dries. This fully cures, semi-cures, doesn't cure at all. So anyways, just a little bit of tidbit information type of shite. losing my bolts. I wanted to say nuts, but they're not nuts. Have you guys seen that video? It's all over the place, like TikTok and Facebook Reels and stuff. It's a little girl, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years old. And she's like, my nuts, Mom, get my nuts, get my nuts. Anyways, that little girl's cute. And she says some funny things. Get off of there. There we go. I'm all over the place today, ain't I? Just talking up a storm. All right. What I'm thinking of doing with this guy right here is... Ooh, oh, shoot, hold on, I gotta get a ratchet. Actually, I don't think I even needed to get a ratchet. There we go. Yeah, didn't need to get a ratchet at all. So what I'm thinking about doing with this guy, I'm wanting to run a higher roof. And higher roof allows it to flow a lot faster, okay? It gets the exhaust out faster. And if you can get the exhaust out faster, that means you can get the fuel in faster as well. And the reason we want that is because I'm wanting this thing to carry very high RPMs. The problem with raising that high roof is unless you preemptively strike and you build it in a manner that that takes into account that high roof, all right? What you have is whenever you raise that roof high, you lose compression. Now you still want to keep good compression. I personally feel like anything above 185 is probably about, just a wash. I don't think that you're gaining. I don't have any proof of this. This is my own personal opinion and things that I heard from other people that I know and respect as builders. And not all builders think this way, and you don't have to. All right, I'm not, man, I am so open to learning new things. You know what I mean? I don't have any, you can't do that. Sometimes I might talk like that, but for the most part, I just do not feel that way whatsoever. Anyways, my point is I think that 200, 240 PSI, stuff like that, you're not gaining anything from that. That's my own thoughts. Like if I had a saw that was pushing out 240 PSI, the very first thing I'd want to do is raise that exhaust to release some of that pressure and make things move faster. But anyways, and I do have a saw that does that, but it was ported by somebody else and I like it and I want to respect his work and everything. And but maybe someday, I'm talking about the 281 from Bobby Boucher. It runs great and everything, but I think it needs to spin a little bit more freely because the whole point of that saw is to take to a get-together race type of thing, So anyways, whatever. What's my point? What is my point? I think what I was getting at is what I intend to do with this thing is to drop the cylinder further than I've ever dropped it. I'll probably have to cut on that combustion chamber some. Definitely won't be able to run this because whenever that's depressed, the top of the piston is going to smack that. So we're going to have to just, that thing doesn't get used at all on this build. So we're going to try and give it crazy compression so that we can then take that exhaust roof higher than what normally I would do, or most anybody would do, really. Probably not super high, maybe 100, maybe 98, or I might screw up and go all the way to 96. But whenever I build these things, typically I am building them on a 104, 105 roof. I have built them all the way up to 108, I think, roof, and they run great. They really run great. But with this one, my thoughts on it are, and maybe I'll go a different route if you guys comment and respond differently. Oh, that's not even touching. Yeah, it is. Touching just a little bit. But my thoughts on it are, I want somebody to, I feel like people will want me to build this saw fast. And that's what I'm going to try and do. We'll see how it works. Yeah. We're at 60 thousandths. Geez, that can't be right. Let's go ahead and double this up. We're going to double it up so that we can get a real good pinch on it. It just twisted it over. But I do have a flat side there. $55 thousandths, 56, 55 thousandths, 55, 56, right there. So we got to cut a lot off of it just to get it down to where it needs to be somewhat. So what I think I'll do is I think I'll go straight into it and cut 60 thousandths of an inch off. I'll have to cut the combustion chamber just a tad, and I might have to cut a little bit off of the top of that piston. Maybe I'll just cut the piston. Yeah, these things run a redonkulous just redonkulous squish, because that's without a base gasket. Without a base gasket. That's crazy. Yeah, I got to check that one more time. It's been a long time since I built one of these, and I'm like, are they that high? Are they? I don't know if you guys can hear that in the background, but there must be power line crews out. I hear a lot of shit being ran in a chipper. Let me see, where's that solder again? Yeah, it's really that high. $55,000. Damn, that's a lot. Well, I need to do this. It would be bad if I did not. I got to check to make sure that that piston skirt has plenty of room on it. So I literally take my marker in there and I run the piston up and down. Plenty of room. Let's measure it real quick. Oh yeah, I got like 150 thousandths before that piston free ports. So tons of room there. Don't have to worry about going hog wild on this. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and just take 60 thousandths off the base of this cylinder and then go from there. Long video leading to nothing.